Hey folks, this is Susie Meadows, an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! Here in Central Indiana. And today I want to show you these two alternative cards made with the paper pumpkin this month, which is the Bouquet of Hope. And these are, if you aren't familiar with Paper Pumpkin, it's a monthly subscription. It's a craft kit that comes to your door with everything needed to make the projects. And this month, 9 different cards. Well, I like to challenge myself and see what other things I can make with these. And so these are 2 of the cards. And actually, this is the second video. In the first video, I teased y'all and said, hey, I'll come back and talk about how I made these dots. And so I will put the link of the first video in the description. So, but as I did this, one of the reasons I went this way is because in this month's kit was this little flyer that talks about next month we get 4 free stencils. And I got to thinking, oh, well, we've got some right now in our annual catalog. So what could I use? What could I do with those? And the ones in our annual catalog, they are the Basic Pattern Decorative Masks. And these are just some of, they come with 4 different stencils or masks. And here's 3. And the 4th I'm going to be using is the dot. And these are just some of the, when I get things I like to play. So this is with some older ink, but that's one of the designs. Trees are another design. And this really subtle floral is a third design. Like I said, we are going to use the dots. Okay, so let me move some stuff out of the way. This, and actually, I'm going to show you how I do both of these. This card is with the embossing paste, which it's also in the annual catalog. This is the shimmery white. We're going to use that. And this is put on with our Whisper White ink and a sponge dauber. These sponge daubers, both of these are all in the annual catalog, but sponge daubers, you get 5 of them in a package. Here I've got 2 left, and so we're going to be doing that. So let me move these off to the side a little bit here. Oh, and this is, if you don't have a demonstrator and you're interested in some of these supplies, here you go. This is where you can find me, and you can also email me through there. So I'm going to show you how to do both of these, how to do the technique. I guess you could say this is a technique video. And I'm going to do things a little different this time. I'm going to, I've got Just Jade, and I'm going to use it as a card base in the future. So I want that with the embossing paste, and I want some black. I want to see what it's going to look like with white ink on it. So I just put a scrap piece of paper down because I'm going to get messy here. And, oh, I don't know, let's go. Sometimes I like doing things at diagonals, and sometimes I like doing it straight on. I'm going to be very structured this time. No, I'm not. I was going to say I'll do them both straight, but I'm not. I like that right there. Now, I like to go ahead and just with some Scotch tape this down, because I find sometimes I get a little rambunctious and I can move things around, and I really don't want to with this. I want to, I don't want to be moving it around. So I'm just taping each of the 4 corners just to make life easy for myself. Okay, which shall we start with? Oh, one thing I need is a silicone mat, and we'll get this here. So this is what we're looking at for this one, and this is this one. Okay, so let me see. I always like to shake up my ink. This Whisper White, it's a pigment ink, and so it's quite a bit heavier. I call it heavier, but it's thicker than maybe some of our other inks. So I like just putting some on my silicone mat because the silicone mats are so easy to clean up. And I get some on my, I just put this on my finger and I just literally start daubing. And there you go. Now there's other tools you can use. You can use a blending brush and things like that. But with this Whisper White ink, this craft ink, I like going with the sponge dauber. I just feel like I have more control. Okay, and we'll just keep going here. You can see why I've got a smaller piece. This, when I did this card, I did that all the way around the outside. I didn't need it right in the middle because I knew I was going to put an art piece on it. But see, do you see how I wiggled the paper? Another reason why I like to tape the mask down. And I realize I'm moving the camera, so sorry about that. But I want to get in these grooves. Now, the nice thing is you can make it very uniform, or you can have areas that are darker, that have more ink on it, and areas that have less ink. But I like sort of swirling them around because I feel that I get a good outline that way. But you wouldn't have to. Like I said, you can do it really fast and just and it'd be a lot of variation. But there we go. Now, to clean up this silicone mat, I'm just going to run this under water. Now, I don't clean my sponge daubers. You know, there's 5 of them, and I'm thinking they're like $4 or $5. So sometimes I'll just label it white, or sometimes I don't even have to because I can tell that's white. But I'm going to move this out of the way. Well, we'll just leave that there so we know what that was. Now, we're ready to do the embossing paste. I keep mine in the plastic bag it comes in, because it can dry. You'll see it dries very quickly. And so just pull it out and unscrew it. Like I said, this is the shimmer white, and I keep my little lid on here, and you can see I have a little bit of plastic on the inside. I don't know, I just feel that it keeps it dry. Keeps it moist longer. And this is just a palette knife, and I'm just going to mix it up in here. I don't really need to mix it. I'm just, in case there was any dry on top, I'm just wanting to make sure I get a good batch of it. And you can see I'm just literally, just like icing. I don't know if you've iced cakes, but that's what this reminds me of. But actually, to me, this paste is a little, well, you know, it's about the same consistency of icing now that I think about. And I'm going different ways because I want to get in the grooves. Because you can see I don't have as much down here. There we go. Now you can also color this. You can put some ink in here. Put a little bit of the embossing paste on your silicone mat. Put a dot or two of our ink refills. Mix it in just like you're coloring icing. And you could have different colored embossing paste on here. Okay, I think that looks good. Yep, looks good to me. So I'm going to put this back down with the body, with the rest of it. Like I said, this is going to dry fast. So, and just my extra plastic that I feel it keeps it moist. I don't know that you have to, but I don't use it all that often. So for me, I want to keep this because this is about half. I've used half of it. I think I've probably had this like maybe 2 years now. And so I'm going to put it right back in here. Here we go. Seal it up. And and then what I will do, I will actually, right after this video, I will take this and clean this up. Both of these, because actually the embossing paste, it'll dry fast. So now let's see what this looks like. So getting the tape off. There we go. Okay, so there's that. And here is that. Get that out, back out of the way. Okay, put this on my paper towel because I will go take this to the sink and clean, and get it all cleaned up. Okay, so this is what we've got. Let me pull this card base up. There we go. Can you see that? Isn't that pretty? I really like what this looks like on the Just Jade. And but the thing is, it's not quite dry, so it needs to sit. Now, here's what see what I did. I took extra time and added extra ink this time. And isn't that interesting? There was basically an overflow. So where the mask wasn't pushed down real firmly, it left some extra ink there. And that's okay. That's going to be an interesting design element as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, because I don't think I could create that again. So that's very original. Now, on my initial one, you can see I didn't use as much ink. And so the circle is perfectly formed. Okay, so this video was mostly to show you how to do the techniques. Because putting a card together is putting a card together. But this, like I said, this is using our masks, our decorative masks. And this was with the white ink. And this is with the embossing powder. So let me get these all out of the way. And I'll just show you these cards really quick here. I'm not necessarily, like I said, I'm not going to put them together, but I'll explain how I did it because this video is all about the technique. And here, this is where I use the embossing paste. I let it dry. I put the panel down. This is a die from our kit, and I just adhered it on there. That's just a circle punch there, and that's the sentiment that's in our kit. And I've showed you before in the first video, I talk about taking apart the envelopes. And this one here, this pink, is actually, here you go, it's the envelope. I just take the sides off and I cut it up, and here I've got a strip. And this is the card base, remember? You know how I like to use pieces of my kit, several different ways. Now this particular card, I brought in an extra stamp set. I brought in the Beautiful Friendship because I thought this card base in our kit looked very similar to these flowers. And so I stamped these flowers and I just cut them out. And that's how I've got them here. So, and this sentiment, of course, is here. The ribbon right there is actually this. It is the scalloped linen ribbon. And you see how, let me get this off. You see how thick this is? Well, I only wanted part of it. So I just cut it in half. Let me get the pen out of the way. Put it where I can find it again. Because I do go barefoot. I don't want to step on it. Don't you hate pins in the carpet? So anyway, so I just cut it in half. And then I adhered it underneath my label. So there you go. These are just a few of the different tips of how I put these two cards together. Now on that first video, in case you missed it, these are the alternative cards I made. This is one of them that I did with vellum. I just turned, and this is in the kit, remember? So I just turned this over, and then I added shimmery white. And this one, I used some of that Flower and Field Designer Series paper that coordinates with this. And used some different labels from Poppies. And this one, I used a die, and I cut out, this is the card base in the kit, and I just die cut that out. And then I added another background label and ran it through with the ornate floral embossing folder. And these pretty flowers are in the kit. So these are just a few of the cards I made. There was a couple more, but I don't know where they are. So, because on the other one, I show you how to make a vase and with a label. And what else did I do? Yeah, there's that. And, oh, how to put this vellum down without showing your mechanics. So there you go, gang. So, like I said, this was pretty much a technique video showing you how to use our masks. And remember, the next kit, we get 4 of them, and they're going to come free. So if you have not subscribed for the next Paper Pumpkin, make sure you do that, because these are some of the goodies we get. So it's been nice chatting with y'all via the video. Hope things are going well for you, and I will catch up with you later. Oops, turn this over. Okay, hey, take care, guys. Bye-bye.